Genuine Sage.
Hey y'all, so excuse my voice. I'm coming down with a little cold, but y'all see this New York Times article. Tory Lanez was found guilty of shooting Meg the Stallion, and we're gonna get into some things and unpack a lot. So stay tuned.
I didn't tell the police nothing because I didn't want us to get in no more trouble than what we was already about to get in.
All right, so it's important to note that before this trial started, Meg the Stallion lied, right? So she initially lied to the authorities by saying that she was cut by glass, and then she lied about her relationship with her alleged shooter, Tory Lanez. She said that she wasn't intimate with him, but she was. Now, whether she had a good reason to lie or not, it doesn't change the fact that she's lied, right? So she's our victim. She is our star witness. So how are we supposed to believe her full testimony if she's already shown that she's willing to lie to save embarrassment? She's willing to lie to keep from getting in trouble, etc., etc. Okay?
I don't lie. I don't lie. I don't have to lie.
Now, it's important to mention also that before the trial, when people were saying maybe Kelsey shot Megan, Tory Lanez said that's not true. Okay, so that is contradicting to the defense stance that Kelsey is possibly the shooter. But it's also a hit at Megan's character because, listen, Megan says someone shot her, but it took her a whole month before she named Tory as her shooter. So while people were throwing her best friend, her sister name out there as the shooter and the hotties commenting and harassing Kelsey, Megan never once stood up for Kelsey and said, no, do not harass her. She did not do anything to me. She let people speculate that it was Kelsey for a whole month, but then went on a campaign and said, protect black women. Oh, black women is the biggest this and this and that. While her best friend, who was also a black woman, was getting attacked when she knew, or from what she's saying, Tory was the one that did it. All right now. Now, it's also important to note in Megan's testimony, right? She confirmed that EJ was her ride to Kylie's party. And EJ also testified that Megan and Kelsey were drinking all day, that they went through 6 to 7 bottles before Tory even showed up to Kylie's house, right? So they were drunk. Of course, Megan left that out. And that she wasn't jealous that Tory was flirting with Kylie. And that she never was kicked out of Kylie's house. But however, she said an argument started because Tory was not ready to go. All right, y'all. Now let's think about this, right? So the first thing, right? She said that she was not jealous that Tory was flirting with Kylie. Now, when EJ went on the stand, he said that Tory and Megan been spending a lot of time together without her security, meaning Megan been spending time with Tory without her team, right? Megan confirmed that she had a intimate relationship with Tory, meaning she was sleeping with Tory Lanez, right? So you mean to tell me the man that you've been going on secret vacations with, allegedly, spending time with, sleeping with, is now flirting with another woman and you don't care? Okay. Okay, let's say she's being truthful. But my question still is this. If EJ was your ride, why is there a argument that Tory isn't ready to leave, especially when he came to Kylie house much later than y'all? Now, get into EJ's testimony. He stated that Kelsey was so drunk that she passed out in the pool, right? So she was on the floaty on the other side of the pool, passed out. She could have drowned. Kylie and Megan was on the other side of the pool still drinking. EJ, the sober one, because he stated he don't drink, had to get Kelsey out and take her to a safe place so she can sleep off her alcohol. By the time that Kelsey woke up, Tory was there. Kelsey did continue to drink. He said that she was a little bit more sober, though. And Megan, she pretty much never stopped drinking. He then stated that when Megan drinks and get to a certain level, she changes. He said that she was a little bit more aggressive. She also made a comment to Kylie like, I'm glad you cool because I thought that you was a lame. So EJ said, look, he told Megan, your wig is slipping back. And he thought to himself that, okay, things probably going to get out of hand. Let me tell them it's time to go. He said Kelsey, because she's a little bit more sober now, stayed like kind of was following his instructions, but Megan was the combative one, right? She was the combative one, and she told EJ, put my stuff in Tory's car. So if there was an argument that Tory wasn't ready to leave, your ride was ready to leave. Why didn't you leave with your ride? Interesting, right? But let's just use the thought process that Megan's a grown woman. She don't have to ride with EJ if she don't want to ride with EJ, right? Okay, so let's back up a little bit. Now, Kelsey and Megan's things is now in Tory's car. Tory's driver agreed to take Kelsey and Megan home, right? Now, remind you, these two women, they're intoxicated. They've been drinking all day. Megan told the driver to turn back around. She forgot one of her slippers, or she forgot both, right? Whatever the case may be. The driver turned back around and they go to Kali house. Now, in Megan's testimony, she stated that this is when the argument happened, that Tory was not ready to leave, right? But in Kelsey's statement, she stated that she stayed in the car while Megan went back in Kali house, and that's when her and Tory came back to the car, and Megan said, B, we gotta go. Kali said, we gotta leave. Now, for the people who are so upset and confused as to why we go over the details that happened at Kali House, and I'm going to explain to you why it's relevant. Now, we can't just jump to the effect of something without looking at the cause. We need the cause so we can try to understand why something happened, right? We have to be able to start from the foundation and work ourselves up to the top. So the argument started at Kali House. They got drunk at Kali House. So that's why it's being talked about, because this is the starting point. This is the foundation. And then things escalated from there. All right, so now let's get into the evidence. So the co-surgeon, not the head surgeon, did testify and said that Megan Thee Stallion don't have any nerve damage in her feet, but they did take out metallic fragments out of her foot. All right. So the surgeon was able to confirm that. They did not physically show the fragments in the courtroom, but he did testify under oath and said she did go through surgery, and that's what they did. They took out fragments. Now, there are also text messages from Tory to Megan and phone calls from Tory to Kelsey of Tory apologizing. So I'm going to paraphrase, saying things like, I'm so sorry, I was so drunk. But he never clarifies what he is apologizing for. Now, next, the prosecution tried to use Kelsey's interview she did with them as evidence. So in this interview, Kelsey admitted that Tory shot Megan and also said that Kelsey physically assaulted her. But once Kelsey got on the stand and was under oath, she said she lied because she was pressured by the prosecution and she only wanted to protect herself. So if y'all don't know, Kelsey got an immunity deal. But because Kelsey changed so much of what she said in that interview and also stated that she did not remember a lot of things due to her being drunk that night, they still used her interview as evidence. Now, gunshot residue was found on Tory Lanez and Kelsey. They did not test Meg Thee Stallion for gunshot residue. So this is when I start looking at the detective sideways. I feel like everyone who was in that vehicle should have been tested for gunshot residue, so you can rule out people. So we can know for a fact, like, okay, we know for a fact gunshot residue wasn't on Meg Thee Stallion. So there's no room for speculation, right? And the same thing for DNA. Tory's DNA was not found on the weapon. And even though gunshot residue was found on Kelsey, they did not test to see if Kelsey's DNA was on that weapon or Meg Thee Stallion. So again, why didn't you test everyone who was in that vehicle to see if their DNA was on that weapon? If you are so confident and you believe in your victim and you believe that Tory Lanez is the person who did this, why not test everyone so you can rule them out and you can have facts in this courtroom? We tested everyone and it was only this person's DNA on it. Or we tested this. You get what I'm saying? Facts, not speculation. Y'all got to pay attention to these things. Now, last but not least, Sean Kelly, right? The unbiased witness who supposedly don't know Megan or don't know Tory Lanez, right? Don't know anybody who was involved, who was just an innocent bystander. It was his house. They were behind his house and he witnessed everything. Now, he went on the stand and he said he witnessed two women fighting violently, meaning a physical altercation between two women. He witnessed a short woman beat up a taller woman. Okay? So what do that sound like to you? He is saying that he witnessed Kelsey beating up Megan. They were fighting each other. Okay? He then said he seen a woman walk towards a car and then sparks came from her. And then the man got out of the car and sparks came from him. So he said he didn't physically see a gun. He thought like, oh, I hope it's fireworks. But he seen the sparks closer to the woman and then he seen the sparks from the man, right? Then he goes on to say that he seen a woman fall and crawl and then he seen two men go towards a woman and violently beat up the woman and then pick her up, and he thought that they were going to throw her into a river, but they picked her up and carried her into the vehicle. Now, that was the witness statement, right? So after this came out, everyone online and all the people who are fake a part of the Protect Black Women movement, they said, see, he said that Tory shot Megan. And oh, and he's saying Kelsey shot Megan. Oh, lock them both up. Lock them both up, right? But not anyone. I haven't seen no one ask this question. So if this witness is saying that he's seen Kelsey shoot first and then he's seen Tory shoot, why didn't Megan say this in her testimony? If this witness is saying that he witnessed two women violently go at each other and fight each other, why didn't Megan or Kelsey mention this in their testimony? Now, I'm seeing that people love to pick out what they want to pick out to fit their narrative, right? So I've seen a lot of people say, oh my God, Tory and his driver tried to beat up and jump Megan. Oh my God, Tory did shoot Megan according to Sean Kelly, the witness. But not no one said, if this all happened, why didn't Megan mention this in her testimony? Also, the witness didn't describe the man to be standing in the backside, standing up on something, shooting over the car like Megan did. So these two stories do not match up. Also, neither the witness or Kelsey said that they heard Tory say dance B. Now let's go over what was proven in this trial, right? Let's go over the facts. So the fact is, metallic fragments were found in Meg Thee Stallion's feet or foot, right? It is also a fact that gunshot residue was found on Tory and Kelsey. And it's also a fact that Tory's DNA was not found on the weapon and that the detectives did not test anybody else's DNA. And it's also a fact that Megan's testimony do not match Sean Kelly's testimony. And Megan's testimony don't match Kelsey's testimony. And Kelsey's testimony don't match Sean Kelly's testimony. And Kelsey's testimony don't match Megan's testimony. And it goes on and on and on. You get my point. And it's also a fact that in those text messages and the phone calls that Tory never said that he was sorry for shooting anyone. He just said that he was sorry he was too drunk. And it's also a fact that Kelsey got on the stand and was under oath and told the judge and everyone in that courtroom that she lied in her interview. And she only said those things because she felt pressure and she wanted to protect herself. She just wanted the immunity deal. She did not want to put herself in any harm's way. Now, it's also a fact that Megan Thee Stallion got on the stand and was under oath and said that she was hiding the fact that she was sleeping with Tory Lanez because she knew her best friend had a crush on him. Now, do you think that can cause arguments? Do you think that that can cause people to get into a fight? I'm just asking, right? But go ahead and erase the other part of it. Let's just focus on the fact that Megan said that she slept with Tory Lanez behind her best friend back because she knew her best friend had a crush on him. Let's talk about that, right? That's a fact. That's what she said under oath. Now, I'm one of those ones who have sense that can admit that I don't know if Tory shot Megan because I was not there. But going off of what I've seen in this case, they were not able to prove that Tory shot Megan. Period. The only thing that was proven in this trial was that Megan Thee Stallion had bullet fragments in her feet. But they were not able to prove that Tory was the one that pulled that trigger because nobody's statement match the other. Everybody's testimony was different. So for the people who are saying that, oh, okay, they believe Sean Kelly, then to say that you believe Sean Kelly's testimony is saying that you don't believe Meg Thee Stallion's testimony because their testimonies is completely different. You get what I'm saying? So to say that you believe Kelsey's interview, right? When Kelsey already said under oath that she lied, right? To say that I believe that Tory Lanez is the one that shot Megan, but the fact is there was no DNA of his on that weapon and they didn't even bother to test anybody else's DNA to see if it was up there. To the fact that it wasn't just him that had gunshot residue on him, but Kelsey had gunshot residue on her as well. So after listening to all these testimonies and all these statements and stuff, I was left still feeling confused as to I don't know exactly what happened because everybody's statement did not match each other. Nothing was aligned. Nothing. To the point that the detectives dropped the ball on this case as well. So to hear that a jury decided that this man is guilty of all three charges is very crazy to me. I'm sorry. It really is. To the point that the victim openly admitted to lying to police officers, right? Lying to the police officers by saying that she was cut by glass initially, to the fact of lying on national TV about her relationship with her alleged shooter, right? To the fact that the witness, Sean Kelly, saying that they seen two women fight and sparks came off closer to a woman, to the fact that that statement alone don't match anything that Meg Thee Stallion said on the stand, and to the fact that Kelsey got on the stand and said that she lied in her interview, but they still used her interview as evidence, is crazy to me. And then the fact that it's people online that's jumping for joy and praising God that this man is behind bars, right? They jumping for joy and so happy as if they were on the scene and they seen with their own two eyes that this man pulled the trigger. These are the same people who wanted Tory Lanez to be in jail without hearing the full story or getting any type of facts. These are the same people who are saying, oh my God, black women are so unprotected, and then go online and bully Kelsey, a black woman. These the same people that's saying Tory Lanez got a history of being physically abusive to men. I haven't seen anyone pull out any stories that he was physically abusive to women, but these are the same people that are going outside and going into his past. But when people bring up Meg Thee Stallion past, they say, what this have to do with the shooting? And these the same people that want to say, well, look at Tory Lane's past behavior. Look at his character, this and that. But then when people be like, well, okay, Meg Thee Stallion actually has a past case that she was physically abusive with one of her ex-boyfriends before. And she has a history of being online, drinking and being drunk. Oh, and she just was caught sleeping with a man that her best friend was into. But then they say, well, what that got to do with the shooting? These the same people that say, well, oh, people are only Tory Lanez fans because he is being called out for physically abusing a black woman. But he ain't got nothing. He won't no big artist then. But then turn around and say, well, Tory Lanez is paying off everybody to say negative things about Megan Thee Stallion. I'm confused. Do he got money or do he don't got money? Was he a loser before all of this and was just broke? Or is he some type of billionaire that can just pay everybody off just so they can say negative things about Meg Thee Stallion? And another thing that is infuriating to me is this, right? When we make statements like protect black women, we want people to take us seriously, right? We want people to hear us and to feel us. But how can we expect people to hear us when we are reacting in an emotional way? And how can we expect anybody to take us serious when we make statements like this, whenever somebody has a question or just want more information and details, we immediately react in an emotional way and we cut them down and say you don't protect black women, all because they have a question? It's almost like when you're a kid and your parents say, do this, da 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 da, and you ask, why I have to do this? Just wanting to know. And they say, because I said so. Is that a good enough explanation? How do somebody learn if you cut them down and you shoot them down and you push them away all because they have questions? If you really standing on it and you believe that Meg Thee Stallion is telling the 100% truth, when somebody has a question about that situation, it shouldn't just be a blanket statement, oh, you just don't protect black women. No, what is the answer? What is the facts? And that's what happens. People don't have any facts. They're just blindly following behind this person because they favor her more. She is the bigger artist. She is more popular, right? And it's more popular to have these type of statements like protect black women. And people feel like they're a part of something when they say this. They feel like they're doing something good by the world, even though their next tweet is saying, I hope this guy go to hell. Somehow they think morally they on some type of high ground and they're better than people when they're saying, oh, protect black women, even though their next tweet is Kelsey is a bald-headed bee and I hate her. Okay. A lot of us black women, we want black men to protect us, right? We want them to protect us. We want them to be our allies. But yet, when Megan Thee Stallion went on her live and she said Tory Lanez shot her, before we got evidence, before we heard Tory's story, before we heard Kelsey's story, before we heard what led up to it, people automatically said Tory Lanez need to go to jail. So how do we want black men to protect us when we won't even listen to the black man? Come on, y'all. Y'all don't make sense. Y'all don't make sense. It would have been perfectly fine to be like, okay, I hope Tory wouldn't do no crazy thing like this because that's wrong. But let me listen to everybody's side of the story. What led up to this? Like, what happened? Let me get more details. Let me get facts before I be on anybody's side, because I don't know either one of these artists. And it is a fact that it is some black women that lie and it is some black men that lie. So let me be neutral. Let me stay in the middle until I get more information. But no, it's some people that automatically wished evil on this man before hearing anything. And why? Because Megan's a black woman? So you don't know any black woman in your life right now that lie? Okay. Why? Because Megan made your favorite twerk song? Oh, okay. Why? Because you know Megan in real life? You know her character in real life? You know whether she's trustworthy or not? You know if she's known to be lying on people? Do you know that? Oh, you don't? Okay. So how can you blindly just believe something that she say without really knowing her and getting any facts? And then after the information came out with this case, the way that this case was a circus, you mean to tell me that you feel like you're coming out of hearing everything that happened in this case, having a better understanding of what happened that night? Or was everybody's testimony had contradictions and holes in it, right? Okay, let's keep it real. That's what I can respect. I can respect somebody going online saying, look, Meg Thee Stallion is my favorite female rap artist, and, you know, I just like her better than Tory Lanez, and that's it. I can respect that because that's your truth. But I can't respect someone saying, oh, I'm riding with Megan Thee Stallion because it's protect black women. That's bullshit. I respect realness. If Megan Thee Stallion came out and she took accountability just for her role or her part in anything, I would have had way more respect and I would have looked at her as a more trustworthy person. I was taught that never trust someone that tell you a story but they can't say what they did wrong in that story. If she came out and she said, man, I got myself caught up in a messy situation. You know, I got in my feelings. I was jealous that the man that I was sleeping with was flirting with another woman in my face. Oh, I was sleeping with a man behind my best friend back, and that did contribute to the argument that took place in the car. Like a woman that's standing on her mistakes. That's what I'm saying. Not somebody that comes out and say, I didn't do anything. Not somebody that go in a Gayle King interview and say, I didn't raise my voice. Not somebody that say, oh no, I didn't have any intimate relationship with him. What? Not somebody that's in their songs rapping, talking about you got to be this tall to ride this ride. Meanwhile, you was sleeping with somebody that's way shorter than you. I mean, I'm just talking about the lies, y'all. The lies. So when people ask, okay, what's wrong with that? Like, what that got to do with somebody shooting her? It has something to do with whether I can believe you when you say that somebody shot you, because you're a liar. How do y'all not get that? How is that not clicking? How can I believe you when you will lie about something like this? Not the person that be online twerking with shorts way up her butt, saying that she was ashamed of saying who she slept with. Not the person that rap about vulgar and sexual lyrics all the time. Not the liberated woman. Huh? Y'all sound crazy. But anyway, y'all comment below and tell me y'all thoughts, all right? I'm done ranting. I had to get that out because y'all, a lot of people is really trying it.